What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Night Studios, and I just wanted to put out a relatively quick update video. For those of you that watched the Elite Dangerous episode this week, you may already be privy to this information, but whether it be from the first of the year stuff or just analytics, I don't really know. But I'm definitely feeling like there needs to be a change in my channel's schedule. Mainly because I've been putting out a lot of new stuff, and it's caused me to kind of try and keep everything going. You know, like I didn't want to X any certain series, so I was trying to keep them all going at one time. More than likely, some of you may already have noticed, depending on what day this ends up going up, it should be going up either the day before or the day after my typical, or the day of my typical Wednesday schedule, and you'll notice there's no Stardew Valley. Mainly, it just was not performing, and it's if I had all the time in the world and it didn't really matter, I wouldn't have a problem with doing some series just for the heck of it. But for the most part, especially, you guys know that there have been multiple times throughout my YouTubing that, you know, I would say I'm getting a little overstretched. I need to pull it back a little bit and strip it down to the core stuff and get back to that. And that's really what I need to do again here. I've got a lot of new series going. They've all kind of spread out, and when I've just been looking at my view counts and stuff, I'm just not getting a whole lot of them to merit certain series. Stuff like Stardew, Skyrim's another one. Final Fantasy I probably would stop doing if it weren't for it being kind of a linear playthrough. And what I mean by that is I had always intended to just play the story. I wasn't really intending to do all the side quests and go explore the open world in my videos. I was just mainly focused on the main storyline. And when I looked up a walkthrough, I wasn't really looking to see how to do anything, but I just looked at the table of contents to see the quest line. I noticed that I'm already like a quarter to halfway through the quests or something for the main campaign. So things like that, where I know they're going to end in a short period, I'm not really that worried about. But some things like Skyrim or Stardew, or those that don't really have an end kind of thing, I mean, you could kind of just keep going with them for forever. And a lot of my newest series that I started haven't really been performing the way that something like Space Engineers has over the course of my channel. And I did something I never really did before. I went and found a method for, you could basically paste a link of your playlist into this website and it would give you stats on your playlist. And then if you pasted in another JavaScript code into the inspector on the internet browser, it would actually send back to you like the total number of views that all of the videos within that playlist have accumulated, which is kind of what I was looking for. For some stupid reason, YouTube doesn't do that. YouTube's like, if you check the playlist analytics, it only goes by like how many people have viewed the playlist, not the videos within it. And I don't know why they did it that way. It's really dumb. They could have done both. I mean, I just don't know why they never added a way to do totals of the videos that are within your playlist. I think that would be a much more useful information. So anyways, long story short, I went and I actually did that, and I've never done that before. And I went through most of my series, including most of the ones that are either considered on hiatus or discontinued. And I was very surprised by a lot of the numbers. Not the core ones, you know, the Space Engineers Inspiration series and stuff like that. They've kind of floated about where I expected them to be. But, and I did it through ratios, and I can't be 100% certain of my math, but I did ratios of like overall total views versus the number of videos that it took to get those views kind of thing. And when I put it in a spreadsheet, and I did a couple different sort orders by likes and by views and things like that, but it was all done by ratio. Because there's some things like Astroneer, for example. I just started that. It has like 4 episodes. It wouldn't be fair to compare to that, the Space Engineers Inspiration series that has 125 episodes. Unless you did it in a ratio of how many views per video based on your numbers that you have. That's still a little bit unfair for something that's brand new, but it's a little more fair than doing something of just straight view-to-view count, because obviously the thing that has the more amount of videos, 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be the thing that has the most views. So anyways, The short version, for those of you that don't want to sit through this whole video, I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm kind of just rambling. The short version is basically from you guys. At the moment, I will probably try my best not to make any drastic changes. I can't say guarantee, but I'm going to try and probably start around the first of next year of 2017. I may end up doing it a little earlier if I can iron out what schedule I want to keep, what video series I want to keep going, stuff like that. If I can nail that down, then I'll probably shift the schedule as soon as I can. But I am going to take my time with it. I'm not making any immediate decisions, because I want feedback from you guys. So if you don't normally comment or you don't normally put your input, now's the time, because I could really use everybody's input on this. What I'm kind of looking for is, let's say, top 3, bottom 3, basically. So it's like the top 3 things you come to my channel for, and the 3 things that you kind of ignore entirely and couldn't care less, eye roll inducing, oh, he uploaded one of those episodes again, that kind of thing. Now, granted, I am not going to be able to satisfy everybody. In fact, I may even upset a few people by discontinuing certain series, but I have to go majority rules. I have to go where the numbers are, kind of thing. This, like Stardew Valley, for example, it was getting a lot of positive reception through the comments. So the people that were commenting were enjoying it, but I was only getting 3 or 4 comments on each video over the course of a week. Well, when you have almost 8,000 subscribers, that's obviously not the majority of people. So the people that were commenting saying, yeah, I'm really glad you're doing this and all that kind of stuff, obviously that's going to upset them. But I have to kind of just go with the overall landscape of likes and views and things like that. I can't go off of, hey, Jimmy over here said he really likes this series, something like that. It's just not conducive for me. So I'm trying to strip out the fat kind of thing and get rid of all of my clutter series that, while they're fun to do, fun to play, and certain people are enjoying them, they're not producing enough to merit the time it takes to produce them. That's the biggest thing. Much like there's a ratio between video number and view, there's a ratio of time to production. It's like if something takes a long time to make and you're only getting 10 or 15 views off of it every day, it doesn't work. Not only, and like I said this in my Elite Dangerous video, I mentioned it a couple times, and I know there's not a whole lot for you guys to latch hold of to understand, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes on my channel in terms of I am working on writing a book, I'm working on making a game with Cade and Red Pearl, stuff like that. So we have other projects in the works, so I can't spend all of my time doing YouTube videos. So with that in mind, I'm closing in on doing 3 episodes a day, especially with Astroneer being daily videos at the moment for the first week. And it's just I'm exhausted between, I don't have time to work on other projects, and the YouTube videos are cutting into other days where I was normally setting aside those days to work on other projects, so on and so forth. So it was just like, I came to a halt at one point and was just like, okay, I'm over cluttering my schedule again. I need to clean house. So spring cleaning, New Year's resolution, whatever you want to call it. So bottom line is, at the moment, I don't want to share some of my ideas for schedules at the moment because I want unbiased feedback. So like I said, I appreciate everybody that does comment, but if I get 20 comments on this video or something and I have 8,000 subs, I still am going to look at the numbers overall, but I do want people to give me feedback in terms of, it gives me a good idea of how your diehard people, what they're kind of looking for, because they're the ones that are probably going to comment and things. So overall, I cannot guarantee that, your opinion will end up being like, that was the one thing that did it, and now I'm going to keep this one series, otherwise it wouldn't have mattered. I still may end up upsetting certain people with a new schedule or whatever, but something's got to go. There are series that are going to get cut. There are things that are going to be lost, or at least put on break for a while until, YouTube is an ever-changing beast. You just kind of have to keep up with your numbers, and every once in a while you got to shift some stuff around. That's not to say that if I shift things around and go, this is the schedule I think is best, if I see a decline or people are unhappy, that's not to say I won't shift back to something else. Like I said, it's always in flux. But I would encourage everybody that sees this and pays attention to it to respond. because that'll help me out a lot to kind of gauge the landscape. So I would say your top 3 videos series that you like, and your bottom 3 that you wouldn't care if they went anywhere, you wouldn't even notice, that kind of thing. There are a couple I can tell you right off the bat. Stardew is not going to be continued just because the numbers are just not there. No matter how I slice it, it's just not there. Skyrim is in danger of probably getting cut. The Final Fantasy, I'm probably going to try and stick with just because I know that'll end at the end of the story and I'll be done with it. It's not something I'm intending to just, like Space Engineers, have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes because, while you could, I guess, it's just not really something I expected to do. So Final Fantasy will probably stick around for a while, at least till it's done. Astroneer is safe because I'm having too much fun with the game. And it is producing, it's just brand new, so that's a little bit of a biased number type of thing. Is it's only had a few days to basically check out and stuff like that. A couple of safe ones, Inspiration series, never going anywhere. That one is still really high on the list. Elite Dangerous probably won't be going anywhere. Space Engineers Let's Play, or at the moment the Let's Build one, isn't probably going to go anywhere. Those are probably locked in. But there's a couple that surprised me, though. Like an overall view ratio, if I did my math right, where you take just the number of views and divide it by the number of videos you have in the playlist, the number 1 series in terms of ratio on my channel is actually my Space Engineers Programming 101 series, which kind of surprised me. It's followed very closely by Space Engineers Inspiration, which I expected to be on the top. Now, if I do by likes, Inspiration is on top. So, it probably is still my number 1 overall enjoyed series on my channel as a whole. But so just interesting numbers like that. Like Medieval Engineers was like 8th on the list, and that was like, where did that even come from? I didn't think that did well at all. Empyrean was another one that was like 9. Meanwhile, stuff like Dragon Quest Builders and things that everyone seems to have really enjoyed is like, 23rd on the list kind of thing. So it was kind of like, whoa, where are some of these numbers coming from? But like I said, it makes sense, actually, when I'm looking at the views, when I put out a video and I give it 24 hours or whatever, and I look at the views, it kind of makes sense, actually, that Dragon Quest doesn't produce a ton of views. It's good, but it's not great. And a lot of my newest series are on the bottom, and they've been performing the worst. So it all kind of adds up as far as I'm like, well, compared to Dragon Quest Builders, this one's not doing well. Well, it's lower on the list, so okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, it was shocking, but if I'm looking at it objectively, it actually makes sense. Because when I put out some of these other series like Medieval Engineers, Empyrean, they were making more views than some of my new series I'm putting out now in the same kind of period of release time. So while I may have stripped them for other reasons, as far as like I've got too many videos going, so I have to, condense it or whatever, there's still some things that I actually I could see. I could see them being where they are on the list. It was just a little surprising to see some of them, like 101 being up on the top. It was kind of like, okay, I didn't really expect that, but that makes sense, I guess. I mean, I've long said my Inspiration series was the top, and close second was going to be Space Engineers Let's Play or Elite Dangerous, and that is actually kind of the top 3 I've got. My top 5 or 6, no, 5, including just views, just straight view ratios, was Space Engineers at 101, Inspiration series, Dog Squad, which I was really happy about that it was so high on the list. I was really excited about that because it actually only has like 5 videos. So for its ratio of 5 videos to be third, I was really ecstatic about. I'm grateful for everybody that supports that series because it's one of my favorite series to do on my channel. It's just so time consuming. And in case anyone was wondering, we are working on season 2. Most of the scripting's actually been recorded already. Caden Red Pearl and I still have to do some of our dialogue. And now that the game has updated its graphics, we'll be able to move more towards production. But again, that's another thing that happens behind the scenes that all of these daily videos are taking away from. So I highly encourage you to do a top 3, bottom 3 for me. It would help me out a lot. Do kind of keep, kind of keep an open mind as far as I'm going to be analyzing your feedback and numbers and all this kind of stuff. And hopefully within the next week or so, I'll probably do another one of these update videos pitching the schedule that I'm thinking of doing, and then I'll get feedback from that and see if everyone's okay with it, happy with it, whatever, and then we'll try it moving forward from there and see how it does. So overall, top 3, bottom 3 would really help me out a lot, and stay open, because things are probably going to be shifting around, if not earlier, but by the first of the year. So that's going to do it for this update thing. I highly encourage your feedback. I would really like it. It would really help me out a lot. So do that if you can. And in the meantime, I will talk to you guys in the next video series, whatever comes out next. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I would really appreciate all the help. So I will see you guys later. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.